Um, Wanted to talk to some of you guys about some different play types for different plays. And so I kind of wanted to start off with the screen passes. um, so I'm here in practice mode. Um, I may touch on RPOs, but for right now we're going to go to screen pass. I'm going to hit L3. And it's going to set me up with a random screen pass, and then I'm going to put my defense in a random defense. So your screen pass, you can tell a screen pass is when you have your running back. Sometimes it's tight end, but most often, sometimes it's another receiver. But you have most likely a running back, and then like 3 of your offensive line are going to jet off to the left, or whatever direction your running back is going. Now, on defense, a quick tell of a screen pass is your defensive line gets no resistance and they get immediate pressure. What you're going to want to do on offense, if you just stand here and don't move and then try to, yeah, I got lucky to get that one off, but that defense is going to get immediate pressure if you have any kind of blitzers off the edge, or if you have someone who just gets free. Didn't mean to do that. That came in lucky. There we go, R1. But there's a very good chance that you will just get a sack or you'll get the ball deflected if you just stand here and you don't, or if you try to move back up and make the throw. You see I got hit, while I was throwing that one. So if I'm throwing a screen pass, I like to get back a little bit further, maybe 10 yards or so, just to give myself that little bit of distance from this rush that's coming in from the defensive line. And he kind of does it automatically. That's what we're looking for. But what you're looking for is to get behind these blockers, let them block, and then you go running with your running back. So there we go. Get behind the blockers. And now I'm going to go off running. So you don't want to hit R2 and start sprinting as soon as you get the ball. This one's going to be a wide receiver screen. You're still going to see these linemen come over, and you're going to see Woods block. Hit R1, and didn't get anywhere with that one. You also could see your running back get caught up. He did a little bit there. You could also see your running back get caught up in the offensive lineman, or if there's rushers coming through, you might see him get caught up, and he may not be where you want him to be right away. So if you can just give yourself an extra second to let him get untangled and let him get out, then you'll have a little bit better success on these screen plays. So what you're going to want to do is going to whoever is the red in the screen pass. If you try to I was just going to say it's really bad to throw to the person who isn't the screen pass, because you're more than likely, if you're running backwards, yeah, there we go. He's going to throw it off of his back foot, and it's going to be really inaccurate. Most of the time, you'll see them like jump off their back foot, like that. It'll say off back foot, out of reach, or inaccurate pass, or something like that. So even I have one of Richardson's abilities is is accurate passes in the pocket. But if I'm not throwing to my screen pass, you know, on these, he's throwing it off his back foot, and for 95% of the quarterbacks in the league, it's just going to be inaccurate. And you're going to throw these interceptions. So if you're playing a screen pass, throw it to your screen. Don't try to go to anybody else. If the play breaks down and you know you're scrambling, throw it away. Or if you can scramble for positive yards, do that. But if you're trying to throw it to anybody else, you're going to get sacked, or you're going to throw an interception because he's going to throw it off his back foot like that. You might get lucky and catch one, but that's not what the play is designed to do, and so it's really hard to get it to someone else. So with that being said, we want to step back a second, and then once we get the ball, we want to let our offensive line do their work, right? So don't hit your sprint right away unless the defenders are up on you. Be a little bit patient. Let your blockers work, and then sprint. And so that's a major key to this screen pass, because if I hit sprint right away and I'm not past my blockers, you're either going to get out ahead of them like that, and you're going to get tackled, or the defenders are going to shed the block, and you're going to get tackled. Watch for any kind of like coverage, like if 44 comes, you know, straight down and he's up on me. It can happen. It doesn't happen very often, but it could. And it could lead to a pick if someone is right up on your player that you're trying to throw a screen to. Okay? You do this pass, it's not going to be, you know, it's not a positive net gain. Or it's not a guaranteed, you know, net gain. That one got about 5 yards. And especially, had a blitzing safety there. Especially with things like this where they're, you know, running backwards a little bit. The more you can follow your blockers on these passes, the more success you're going to have. God, get over there. So we wait for him to block, and then I go. So get into practice mode. Find a screen pass or two, and try to practice it. Try to get the timing down. You know, keep your eye on whoever your target is, and just wait for them to get open and get them the ball as fast as you can. All right, so it's X now, and you saw 23 came down, and he was right up on X. Let me show you this real quick. Number 80 was my target. So he comes back, but number 23, he's right there. If I throw this ball, it's getting tipped, picked, or he's getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage. But I got sacked anyway. So that's why you want to keep coming back, because those defensive linemen will come on you quick. And you can even sprint backwards if you need to, as long as you're still going to your intended target. You're not likely to throw an inaccurate pass. So if you've got these guys and they're bearing down on you and you're like, crap, I gotta get going, you should be able to sprint backwards and still get the ball out. You just can't sprint backwards and then throw it to someone who's not the intended target, because you'll throw an inaccurate pass. Okay, So there, got out and ahead of my defender a little bit. Yeah, these are tough to get down. Oh, Jesus. But if your offensive line does what they're supposed to do, these can break off for big yards, or at least a couple yards. Like, they're typically a pretty safe bet. They're not something that's typically going to get intercepted. If anything, there we go. You just got to have some patience and run behind your offensive line. So lay off the sprint, you know, right when you catch it. Follow your blockers. Try to get behind them, let them block, and then run around. It can be hard because the blockers don't always engage like they're supposed to. Yeah, that's pretty much a screen pass. Just make sure you get it to the intended target. Where you going, Jonathan? So that one where the running back is like up on the line of scrimmage, I personally am not liking that one. Because he runs in and then he runs back out, and it takes too much time. This one, see, he comes in and then he comes back out, which I guess could be a good distraction, but man, like 9 times out of 10, he's not in position to catch the ball. Alright, so he's going to block, he's going to block. Alright, I'm going to talk real quick about some run pass options that are in the same vein of these screen passes. So these HB slips are good ones that go to your running back. You might get... I'm going to touch on the bubble screens because there are a few bubble screens that I like. There's an RPO bubble read that I'm going to play here, because what's going to happen is essentially you're reading to see, you know, triangle, the defender in front of triangle. Is he going to play man? Is he going to follow triangle, or does he drop back a little bit? And if he drops back a little bit, or if you're outnumbered, let's say I have, you know, let's say I would have more, you know, receivers than defenders on the left side of the field, where 2 receivers could go up and block, and then Schwartz could go around them. So this is an option. If I hold the ball, if I don't do anything, it's going to automatically hand it off, and it's going to be a run. Or I can quickly hit triangle and pass the ball. So what we're going to look to see is what this superstar right in front of triangle does. The read is technically 54 right here on the edge to see if he comes down, but my read is going to be the one that has this blue P over his head. See, so he backed up. He backed up. That tells me he's in a zone coverage, so he's backing up to get into his zone. He backs up there, and so that gives 14 a chance to block and him to go up and get a 15 yards. Right? Now, see there, he followed him, which means he was in man. 14 had a chance to block him, and he didn't do it. So, right, there you go. There's an almost 30-yard screen pass. I said this wrong. If you want to hand it off to the running back, you have to hold down X. So this, I'm just going to do it just to show you. So hold down X and it will hand off the ball. If you don't hold down X, you'll go into a passing scenario where you're either going to have to scramble or you have to get it to he came in on a blitz. Or you're going to have to pass it to your intended target because there's only one target for this. So it's either run or pass or scramble. And you only have one target if you pass it. So, see there, you got behind 14. That's not a scenario where we want to pass it. He actually might be on a blitz here because he's pressed right up against the line here. That tells me he's either pressed and he's going to drop back into his zone, or I think he's going to blitz. Yeah. So he was pressed and he dropped back into his zone. And you can tell that. You can tell he dropped back into the zone because he's up here on the line of scrimmage. He doesn't follow. He doesn't try to press me and then follow me. He doesn't try to blitz towards the quarterback. What he does is he drops back. There. And as soon as I see that, I know he's dropping back into the zone, and that's telling me I'm going to pass. It takes a split second. There, drops back. Play starts within 1 second. Before he has a chance to take a ball, I know he's going backwards, and I can get it to my intended target. So I'm going to show you the replay on this one, because this one he followed in man. This guy right here, he's going to follow 88. Boom, he follows him over. Now he switches to 14 and follows him, but the ball's already off. Right, the ball's already in the running back's hands by that point. At the point of handoff, right here, he's following. And I think even if I did pass this, no, he's turning around to go get the ball carrier. That's what it is. Yeah, that would not have, I like this look because triangle is on the outside of this guy with the blue P, which means he's going to 44. 44 is going to have to come outside to come make the tackle, and he's going to have to, ideally, 14 is going to be blocking, so he's going to have to go around those two who are engaged. So, and he came in for blitz anyway. So the more you guys can start seeing these looks, okay, he's right up in front, he's probably going to be in a man, I'm probably going to run this. Or, if you get a look like this, I'm going to audible. If I see this look in game, I'm going to audible and I'm going to pass it straight to X. The more you guys can start reading these looks, okay, now I've got everybody manned up. He's probably man, I'm probably going to hand it off. Now, Buckner got in and blew the play up, didn't get positive yards. But again, I saw right away he followed. So I got to hand it off. And if Buckner stays contained, there's a nice big open hole here, right, for me to run through. And I've got, how many yards do you think I can get before this safety comes down and stops me? These are fun plays to start incorporating. Bad pass, don't do that. You followed. Right? Well, that's what we're looking for. And there are several different plays that use this kind of, well, it's a run pass option that use these options. So this bubble screen, RPO bubble, read bubble, I really like that one. RPO zone alert Omaha is another one that gives you two options. Again, it's a read play, but what I'm going to be looking for is I've got chip sets on the right. I've got 3 defenders on the right side, right in front of them. What I'm looking to see is, does 53, does he follow, or does he drop back into his zone? And the passing button is different this time. It's X. So does he? Yep, he followed. So I'm going to hand it off. And JT fumbled it. Your other, if you get really good at this. Oh, here's a mismatch here. Look at this. I got 3 receivers. I've got somebody on the line who might drop back into the zone or might be coming in for a blitz. But if not, I have 2 defenders, like a safety and a defensive back against 3 receivers. So I'm immediately going to throw this. I'm going to follow him and pick up some yards. If there would be a scenario where like nobody's over by square, I could just throw it to square as well. So like that, where that defensive back came in and let him right out. So he starts off on the outside. So I'm thinking, I'm probably not getting it to him. But what he does is he comes inside. Oh, he gets faked out. He thinks the running back has the ball. And he starts running for it, which leads him to be right open, and he gets almost 15 yards on the play. Right. So these are not like. It's not going to work every time. These take some practice. So I'm encouraging you guys to get out and open up your playbook and look at your RPOs and your screen passes and start incorporating them in the games. Not every play, not every drive, just here and there. I do like the bubbles better because I think it gives you more opportunity to turn and go. Here's another. I'm just going to do these because it's the angle that they're going. He catches the ball and he's facing forward. There is an RPO where they're kind of face sideways and then they have to turn. We'll do this one here. This is the Omaha. And you see he's turned sideways to catch it, and he's not catching it in stride. He's stopped. And so you really have to have good coverage, which that one got. Okay, it's not that these can't break off for yards. It's that it takes that extra second, which you don't always have. Right, and especially in a situation where like there's 2 defenders, one of them's going to get around the blocking receiver. But yeah, even just it's just that stop, and he stopped, and it takes him that split second to turn around and start going. I much prefer these bubble. So you see this triangle here? That's what I was just doing. The RPO read bubble. If I hit X, I think we're going to see more success with these. Yeah, 15 yards on that one, right? The rest of these are essentially the same. You might see like the jailbreak. This sends 1, 2, 3 offensive linemen and a receiver over to block for you. These ones are okay. They can, if they work the way they're intended to, they can get some yards. They don't always work as intended, so you might not get much. But if you're just needing, 1 or 2 yards and This really kind of looks like you're lined up to. Well, no, there's 5 receivers here. But if your opponent thinks, oh, hey, he's going to run for it, and you pull something out like this, it can maybe get you that 1 or 2 yards that you need. This is another one where it has to go to the intended receiver. Don't throw it to anybody on the right side here, because you're going to throw it inaccurate. For whatever reason, it's going to put him on his back foot, and he's not going to throw it accurately at all. That one was complete because he was wide open, but you're more likely to get intercepted than you are to make a pass for these screens to make a completion to someone that the play is not designed for. Right, so I'm getting 2 to 5 yards on these, which isn't terrible. There we go. We got a 10-yard gain there, but it's not terrible. Play around with them and see which ones you like and which ones you don't like, and what ones work and what ones don't work, and start incorporating these into the games. Maybe twice a game. Once in the first half, once in the second half. Just see if you can get anything going with them. They are good distractions, especially these running back screens, the slip screens that we were talking about. I'm just going to go back and show you one more time. The HB slip screens, because what it does is it sends your receivers out, and so it makes your opponent think, oh my gosh, there's passing, oh, I got to get back, and then, oh, everybody's back, and I have 3 offensive linemen in front of me, and so what it does is it pushes those defenders back, and it gives you space, ideally, as long as your offensive linemen actually get the blocks that they're supposed to. Right? Alright. Bye, guys.